Quite a lot to also go through this morning for you here on the show. We can speak now to the Director of European Studies at the University of Ghana, who's also a senior political science lecturer, in the person of our very own Dr. Asah Asante. Doctor, good morning to you. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Francis. How are you?
I am well, sir. I trust you're well and keeping safe.
I am great.
All right. So we are aware that the President has forwarded a petition that was sent to him by the former occupant of the office of the Special Prosecutor, Martin Alamise Benz Kaiser Amidu. His case is that he's raised 6 issues that he deems to be breaches. That is a proper basis for which the current Special Prosecutor should be removed from office. What do you make of, first, the petition, who it's from, and how it's being handled?
Let me state here now that you know I'm not a lawyer, but what I would say is that if you look at the laws of this country, it allows everybody to make a petition at any point in time. So Mr. Martin Amidu underscore is qualified to make a petition to whoever you want to make the petition to, in this case, to the President. It is also the duty of the President to look at it and then pass it on to appropriate authority for redress. And that is exactly what the President has done by sending it, forwarding it to the Chief Justice. The good news is that it's now in the bosom of the Chief Justice and is looking at it. And I believe that at the end of the day, we will bring a profession to bear on the work and we will know the outcome. So for me, I believe that we cannot run ahead of what the Chief Justice is doing, allow her to finish her work. Then we can come back and look at the issue.
So in the meantime, everybody should hold their horses and wait for the process to be finished, right?
Yes, because when we are talking about it, what are we talking about? We are going into the merit of the issue or what? Or we are discussing and pronouncing judgment on it. It is with appropriate authority that will look at everything that needs to be looked at, and a determination is made to that effect in the public, with individuals and groups who is going to pass judgment on it. It is with the rightful authority that is going to look at it and give us what he has seen relative to the facts before her.
There are some, like former Auditor General Dan Domnovo, who believes that this move to have the Special Prosecutor removed from office is corruption fighting back. You don't see it that way?
I cannot, say anything about it because, you see, you have not investigated the matter. So on what basis can I draw a conclusion? I am not seized with the facts of the ground. The thing must be what? The Constitution has given us a clear direction that in matters of that nature, this is how it ought to be. In political science, institutions are as necessary as the real facts of the issue. And when I talk about institutions, we're talking about the laws, the regulations, the rules, the procedures, etc. They are all matter when we talk about institutions. So now it's institutions that are at play now. We allow them to finish their work, and then we'll come and then make whatever critique or analysis that we can do relative to the issue. But for now, I'm not sure that I'm speaking for myself. I will be competent enough to look at the issues when I have not gone into the merits and all that, for which reason I would not be in a position to pass a judgment as to whether the move is right or wrong. That will be unfair.
Okay. Agreed. Fair point. Let's speak on things that are related to the politics as well of the country. On that I mean, recently, and I think over the weekend, the announcement was made of the former Deputy Attorney General, Mr. Pemka, being appointed as the Deputy CEO for BOST. Earlier, we've also had the NIB boss, who has been recently appointed as the very person also contesting on the ticket of the MPP for a parliamentary seat in the Ashanti region. What do you make of these political appointments to state-owned enterprises and its value for our democracy?
You see, there is something that I have watched and look at relative to this issue. I mean, starting with the NIB man and all that. I'm not a lawyer. I'll still say that. But you see, I don't know the laws governing. Let's look, for instance, the NIB issue, governing NIB and its work. But put that one aside. Look at it this way. The man that people are talking about, all right, Mr. Foucault, has been working there as a deputy or so, I'm told. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, he's been.
Yes, and he is a political actor. I mean, having been a deputy, he's still a political actor. And nobody has raised a finger. Why are people raising fingers now? All right. It tells you that, for me, there's something wrong with the public view about it. Because if the man has not broken any law, and there is nobody who has come out that there is this law that prevents the man from being in that office, I mean, all will be much ado about nothing. It's just mere noise. Because, look, if you look at all the things that you have talked, if there is a law that such appointments tend to breach, people will not hesitate to go to court immediately. I'm telling you. Why are they delaying in going to court? It tells you that there is, nothing in there. I don't know whether there is a law or not, but for me, I get from the logical deduction, I realize that there's nothing in there to pin it against them. So the real issue is that people are bringing issue of, is it fair or is it not? Issue of morality in the issue of, administrative competence and all that. Those things do not matter. Why am I saying this? If we believe that practice, which for me now, from where I sit, and from what I deduce from the whole, issue, that there is no law that these appointments tend to breach. All right. If that is the case, then they have not done anything wrong. The appointing authority has not done anything wrong. That is the president by appointing them into those positions, and they also were moving in there. There's nothing wrong to move there. But if we think that practice is likely to undermine the work that they do there and all that, that's a different conversation altogether. And it requires that let us put in a law. If that practice is no good, there must be a law to address it. But for now, if there's no law, I think we should keep our mouth shut.
So the law then will be triggered by the central bank?
Anybody. I mean, but it should be laws, pass through two processes, either through the executive or through a private member bill. If they feel strongly that this ought to be checked and that or regulated, I think the body responsible for all these things, they know what to do. I mean, they can do that. But for now, if there is no law, why are you attacking the president? Why are you attacking the appointees? Why are you undermining what they are going to do? That's unfair. I mean, because on what basis are you talking about? But if you think the practice is injurious and is not going to inure to the benefit of this country, put in a law. The lawyers will tell you that book no lie. I mean, if it's written, then everybody can relate to it, and we will know the real breaches, and that when somebody crosses the boundaries, we'll be able to take the person on.
Okay, that's for the NIB boss. What about the deputy CEO position for Mr. Kpemka, the former deputy AG?
Is it not in the same bracket? If there is no law that such appointment tends to what? Breach. Why are we attacking the appointee and then the appointing authority? Why? But if you are looking at it from other point of view, saying that, he will not be able to manage it because he's pursuing a political, program, and at the same time managing a program like this, then obviously it's a different conversation. And that if you want to cure that, you need a law to deal with that. But now you don't have that. We should allow the system to remain. And these are some of the things that we need to do as a society. If there is something that we are not comfortable with, it shouldn't be a word of mouth. There must be what? A real law that seeks to what? Deal with it. After all, laws, the essence of every law is to regulate the conduct of people in society. That's all. If we want to really make the full use of law, then that's the direction we need to go. Otherwise, I don't see any case against Mr. Penka. Even though I'm not a lawyer, but the little that I know and then glean from the process, if no law is broken, why are we talking about this?
Okay. The Vice President and flag bearer of the MPP, Dr. Bawumia, has vowed to prioritize the Pualugu Dam project. Now, he's made this promise after sword was cut for this project in 2019 to be executed by China Power, the operators of Sino Hydro. It's been 5 years since the sword has been cut. Construction is yet to begin. What do you make of this project, the promise, the sword cut, and where we are now, and the promise of making sure that it's a priority for tomorrow?
Yeah, that is one of the difficult things that Dr. Bawumia is likely to face in his campaign. 2 or 3 things. One is the numerous promises he has made, and the government have failed to fulfill them. And 2 is the issue that some of those promises need to be brought back as a new promise. The difficulty is that will people accept that, given their first experience? That is a daunting task for him. And the third one is that all these things impinge upon the image and credibility of my vice president. And he has to make sure that he works at that. I mean, from all intents and purposes, he's a good man. But that is different from your promises that you make and you fail to deliver. I mean, that people will hold you to it. On what basis would they trust this second statement that something you promised them, you cut short? They said, oh, it's going to start and all that. You make all the noise about it, and nothing was done about it. This time around, how would people take it if you bring it as another promise? Is it not just going to be a mere talk shop? Would people accept it? That's a challenge, but it's a difficult one. Yes, for him. I see him, from where I sit, I know that this campaign he's going to struggle. But I like his tenacity for purpose. I mean, but he's going to struggle because of 3 things. One, the numerous promises he has to make that some remain unfulfilled. And then there is a need to also make new promises. And how will people take this? And then, the promises and broken promises, how it impinge upon his image and the work that he's doing. That's why the fact that I know him, that he has good conscience and all that. How is he going to address that? It's going to be a difficult one. A very, very difficult one. Yes. And that one, Ghanaians may accept or may not accept. But look at the project. The project is a big one. And I would have loved a situation where the government of the MPP, who cut the sword, would have gone ahead to continue the program to its logical conclusion. Because this has been on the drawing board for a very long time. So once you realize that this is a useful project and you want to do, you stop nowhere. You proceed and get to its finish end, right? Because that dam, apart from the fact that it's going to serve as a dam that will be used for irrigational purposes, another very important aspect of it, which people have little or no knowledge about, you talk to VRA people. The whole essence is also to help us to deal. Part of it is to deal with the spillage from Akosombo Dam. That once you have that dam, Pualugu, water coming from upstream will be containing there, and then reduce based on how they would throw some out into the lands that are going to be irrigated for agricultural purposes, because it's going to serve as a place where irrigation would take place. So some of the water will be used for irrigational purpose. That reduces the volume of the water. And then by the time it gets to Akosombo, its force intensity has come down. And then when Akosombo also opens it, the effect will not be total on Pond Dam, which obviously when it moves out of Pond will not have the effect that we're having. The reason why we are having the effect that we are having today after the spillage is because we don't have the Kwalugu Dam. It's one of the major factors. If you talk to experts, they will tell you this. So such a project will have so many benefits, including we saving Akosombo and saving Pond and, lands outside the Pond, water catchment area. In addition to the fact that we are going to use it for major irrigational program in the north. And of course, it will also collect the water that is being spilled out from Bagri Dam onto that dam. It has multi-purpose, benefits. So for a government to identify this and then stop short in executing it and then coming back saying that we want to do it, that is where the difficulty is. Yes. Another thing about it is also the fact that if you look at the dam in its totality, if we are able to do this, I tell you, it's going to help us to build capacity, create employment, and then get all manner of benefits. So it is a major project. It's a major project. So if the Vice President said, yes, I want to, in spite of the problems that I've encountered in the first time, I want to bring it back. Then there are questions we must put to the Vice President. One, how sure are we to accept that this time around when he promised he would deliver? That's the first question to him to answer. The second one that we want to find out is that where are we going to have resources to, execute that project? Because we have heard that part of the problem that the project has been stalled is because there are no resources. So this time around, where are we going to get resources from? And I will urge the media that this time around, anybody who make any promise, he should work the mathematics for us. Let us know the mathematics. Where are we getting the money? How much money will be involved? Where are we going to get it from? And at what point are we going to get it? All right? And then how will it be executed? These are the lingering questions that I have for my Vice President, that he needs to address them if you really want to convince anybody. Because it is on the basis of this that people can have informed decision about whether to consider that and give them mandate relative to the project that they are giving up.
Okay.
If the people of the north and even from the south here, for me, it's a major project. And that can also cause a change in voter choice, I can assure you. Because if it is going to be implemented and we are going to get the results that we will have, the north will be the next to heaven.
All right. Dr. Asah Asante, as always, thank you very much for your time and for joining us. We're grateful.
Thank you.
That's Dr. Asah Asante, the Director of European Studies at the University of Ghana, joining us this morning as we discussed issues to do with moves to have the OSP removed, political appointees to state-owned enterprises, and then the promise to build the Kwalugu Dam, what's become of it, and how promises are going to be managed heading into the 2024 elections.